Hello, welcome to another floor sculpture video. So today we are upgrading the car. We have some MB6 1.8 VTI brake calipers that we're refurbing. Obviously with the car going more tracker orientated, we need some stopping power. So these run a 282 disc, where at the moment we've got a 240, and literally with having two hard laps, they're done. Brakes have pretty much just disappeared, on fire, so there's no point really trying to push them discs anymore. So like I say, we've got bigger brake kit. Discs are here. Like I say, calipers are currently a little bit grotty, need cleaning up. They're not actually that bad, but I've got a refurb kit, pistons. What else have we got in here? Let's have a look. So the seal kit, and this is from French Tech. I've always used these guys. Even got some new bleed nipples as well. I've cleaned these like bits of hardware up already, like the sliders and stuff. They look okay. But yeah, so that's, if you don't mind, if you are watching and you're not subscribed, if you'd subscribe please, I really appreciate it. And if you are watching the videos and you like the videos, please give us a thumbs up as well. I'm trying to push the channel so we can do a lot more with the car. Obviously there's plenty of content to come, but like I say, I want to try and get it to the point where I can actually use it competitively, and obviously it costs money, so I'm trying to grow the channel. So if you want to help, please obviously do that, and I really do appreciate it. But let's stop talking about all that, let's get into this and I'll show you what I'm doing. Yeah, so like I was saying, this is before I've actually touched anything other than the piston. A couple of ways you get the piston out. Take off the banjo bolt at the back, run compressed air in, and it just pops it straight out. That's how I did it. I wouldn't recommend it, but I've seen people like knock the piston out from the back. Again, wouldn't recommend that. I'd just do it with air. If you've got access to like a little air pump, tyre inflator, buy a valve for a tyre off eBay, cut it down, stick it in the hole, put your air compressor on it, and it'll just pop it straight out, and that's what I did with that. So what we need to do is just give this a bit of a clean up, because it is a little bit scabby. I've got a wire brush there, and then obviously wire brush on the drill. Same thing with this as well. Clean all this up and remove like the hardware for the sliders, which I'll put over there. Yeah, and then take these seals out, pull the pins out, and again I'll take these seals out in there. So yep, I'll put you down, we'll get onto it. So I'm not sure how much you'll see of this, but anyway, there's your slider. Get rid of this here. So it's important, just make sure that this end goes into here if you are thinking about, you know, refurbing your calipers. If not, just something to give you a reference. These won't clean up, a bit shitty. Again, take that off, and then we'll try and remove this bit of hardware here. Use my precision screwdriver for this. Put that over there. So I already got this one out, put that there. Then this, just pull out like that. Then there's also another little seal in here as well. Which is that one there, like a square seal. Yeah, so what I'll do, probably off camera, sorry, I don't know how much you've seen. Like I say, that's all the seals out. What I'll do off camera is just give it a good clean up with wire brush and stuff. Obviously make sure when you're doing this that you keep all inside here clean. Obviously you won't be able to do it while you're cleaning it up, but once you've you know, cleaned the caliper up, just make sure all this is cleaned inside. You've also got a lip here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's where your your main seal or your cover seal, you've got like a lip in there that sits into that lip. You need to make sure that's all clean, otherwise it won't sit properly, and if it doesn't sit properly then you can't get your piston in, and you end up getting into crying, and yeah, really upsets you. Ask me how I know. So I've got the caliper all cleaned up, all inside. Used a degreaser. It's gone a little bit darker just because of the agents that are in it. And I'm just wire brushing this. Makes it look worse than it actually is. It's just literally surface rust. I'm just making sure there's nothing coming off it that's flaking. But yeah, so I finish this off and then we can start putting the seals into this. So here you go. Here's the caliper repair kit, as I call it, from French Tech. So, like I say, these are all been cleaned now. I say this has been cleaned. So the first thing we're going to be doing is putting the seal in. If you can pick it up. Come on, focus. Focus. Right, anyway. So there's like quite a big lip inside. You'll know what I mean when you do it. If you do it, of course. This sits into there. It's a little bit fiddly. I'm trying to show you, but I don't think you'll see what I'm doing. Right. But anyway, it's just in there. What we'll then do is we have some, and this is very important. There's assembly lube. This is a red. I think it's like a red grease. This is what you can use with your seals. There's assembly lube, which I don't think comes anymore, but I had a spare one from previous. You don't use this with the with the lubrication, because it basically messes up the, well, makes these swell up basically your seals. So you keep the grease away and just use the other stuff, the assembly lube that they give you, which is red. So important. So what I'll do is get a glob of that, put it on the inside, just work it around, just make sure it's all lubed up inside, because that helps the piston go in as well. Probably put a little bit more in there. Right. Get your piston out. It'll be covered in a little bit of grease. What I'll do, get a bit of brake cleaner, clean it off. So once it's clean, we'll put a little bit of grease on the piston, spin it around all the way, and then we get the seal, put it over the top, and then it will go into the recess. You don't want it in that right now. So pull that down, and then that's, if it picks it up on the camera, that's how it should look like. So you have the bit that I was telling you about earlier, so that's at the bottom of the piston, and then that needs to go into that recess, the first one, and it's a pain in the bum, this bit, because obviously you've got grease all over your hands. Clean your hands up, you'll have grease on the piston. But what you're aiming to do is to get this little lip of the seal inside the lip. And best way to do it is if you get it at an angle, or this is how I do it. If you get it at the angle and then start it in, so you can see it's stuck up here, then with a precision screwdriver, basically just as careful as you can, because you don't want to tear it, just go around and basically just slot the seal into where it needs to go, and you'll see at the back, you might not be able to see actually, but anyway, at the back it's already gone in, but at the front it's still sticking out. And then what you need to do is just work your way around and try and get that seated in. I'm trying to hold it and it's falling. But you need to also take the weight of the piston as well, because sometimes it stops it from seating in. Right, that should be it. So the best way to tell is when it looks pretty much the same, like uniform all the way around, but that's basically, you should have it so it pushes with like minimal force. And there you go. That's one seal in. So what we'll do now is, once these have finished off drying, then we'll get onto this, get this painted. That's ready for paint. And then with these, you've got this grease. Grease these up. In fact, we can do that now, to be fair. What I like to do is put grease on these and then like put them into the runners, just up and down a couple of times. You know, do it with both, then put these seals on. Right, as you can see, I've probably put a little bit too much lube in, so I'll just take a little bit out of it, and then, you know, as long as you've got some pushback, like they're pretty good. Like maybe they could do with a bit more in, and these obviously need a bit more out, but that's what you're looking for anyway. So that's the pins done. There you go. Let a bit of air out as well. That was the biggest thing really. Put a bit more grease in those two slide pins as well. Off camera cleaned up the hardware. You know, it'd be nice to get into a position at some point that you could get these ink coated and have them all nice and shiny, or maybe buy some new bolts. So, like I say, I'm going to wait for them to dry, then start painting both the caliper and carrier, put the bits back in, and then we can get on to fitting them. Here we go with the pink. If you wonder why I'm painting these pink, you can blame my 4-year-old daughter. She likes the colour pink, she wanted the car pink, I said no, so something else had to give, and it was the brakes, and I'll probably do the roll cage pink as well. But looking good, just need a bit of touching up on some of them, but other than that, nice and protected. And this stuff's just literally ceramic paint off eBay. Get it for about 6 or 7 quid or whatever. I think you pay like maybe 9 quid and you get a brush as well. Just got to be careful not to put too much on because it does run. It runs everywhere, as you can see. There's bits everywhere. But anyway, we'll finish this off. And then we should be in a position to start putting these on the car. Hello, so you'd seen me probably about 2 months ago when I was painting calipers in the garage, and now I can confirm they are nice and all installed. PPS pads there, so MB6 caliper and carrier. We've got a 282 disc, drilled and grooved. One thing that we're going to have to do with it is also upgrade this puppy here, the booster and the master. So apparently there's people with few issues. Main reason, I think this is 7/8 and we need the 1-inch one, which is off the DC2 I think it is. I think also the MB6 and the K9s run them. So that's what we'll do. We'll swap all that. As you know, I've got some more parts to put on the car, which I've just kind of started to like lay stuff out, so I'm going to rip all this off. The parts are there, it's a bit messy, but yeah, so if you're thinking about doing this conversion, it is fairly simple, to be honest with you. The only issue that I had was I had to space off the brake disc off the hub by 2mm, so I had some spacer plates made which are 2mm thick. That's just to bring the brake disc out. A lot of other people haven't had that issue, but for me, for some reason, on the J9 hubs, yeah, it was an issue, so I just had to pack them out. But yeah, just been doing a few bits with the EP3 as well. I've drained out all the fuel down here. So there's about 20 litres there. That's about 18-month old, so yeah, I'm gonna have to start like put it in like my missus' car or something like that. I'll put like 5 litres in every time she fills up. But I mean, it smells alright, and excuse the moustache as well, because it's Movember, November, Movember. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Like I say, plenty of content coming. I've got loads and loads of parts to go on, like really excited for the build. But yeah, just stay tuned. I promise you, it's going to be awesome next year. Get this car dialed in, get it like, probably have to get the tune tweaked, get it out at, I don't know, 240 horsepower is what I'm kind of hoping for. Get a K24, bang that in, obviously put the K20 head that I've got, put that on the K24, build a Frankenstein, then it'll need retuning again. In the meantime, we'll be doing something with the EP3 as well, so this will be for the road only, and then the EKs for the track. Yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and give us a like as well. It will help, and I'll see you on the next one.